Well, do you think everyone is celebrating New Year's the same way? Have you jumped off the chair when the new year starts? And yeah, it's really weird to say those words. This is the last one this year. This is the last video on my channel in 2022. Let's see what happens in the year 2023. Anyways, Christmas is over and we looked a little bit into different weird Scandinavian traditions coming from Scandinavian countries. If you missed it, I'm gonna put the links down below in the description box, and also try to remember to pin them in the comments section. I sometimes do forget about this. Anyways, Christmas is over. I hope you have all recovered from food comas. To be honest, I haven't. I'm still wondering how did all of this food fitted in my body, but still I don't regret it because I really love the food that I was eating. I hope you have the same. And yeah, New Year's is approaching, and this is why I decided to look into some of the interesting traditions from Scandinavian countries, and this time I picked up Denmark! Well, I hope you are not blinded by the lights that I'm having today, and I kind of feel a Marilyn Monroe vibe. I hope you don't mind that too, because I think it fits me. Anyways, today we're gonna look into some of the traditions that Danish people are doing during the time span of 31st of December up to January the 1st, commonly known as New Year's celebrations. First of all, Queen's speech. Yes, if you didn't know, Scandinavians do have monarchs. It's not only about England, because I guess that's the most popular right now, especially if you're watching Netflix and all the fuss around Meghan and Harry. Yeah, it's not only about that. Yes, Scandinavians also have queens and kings, also including Norway. And in Denmark, they have Queen Margaret, and the Queen is very high respected and well-known public figure, and she's delivering a speech on the New Year's Eve. Nothing out of the ordinary, you might say. Well, let's see. Let's just read about that. So, the Queen addresses the public in a live broadcast from Fredensborg Castle, north of Copenhagen. Scheduled for 6 p.m., the speech kind of acts as a Kickstarter for the festive night. Alright, I'm not sure really how I feel about the 6 p.m. thing. This means that Danes are already sitting by the table by 6 p.m., which means that the table is ready. Everyone has been dressing up and prepared to celebrate at 6 p.m. already. From where I'm coming, in Latvia, and I have also lived in some other Eastern European countries, 6 p.m. is usually a crazy time. I'm usually running around the house like stressed about if there's enough booze for the people for the celebration, if there's enough food, and I'm still thinking if the dress that I bought specifically for the New Year's Eve is good enough for me and if I don't look fat in it. So I don't know, like Danes, they are ready to celebrate quite early. And also like the speech of the most important person in the country, in my case that would be president, is happening a little bit before midnight, like before the fireworks, like the person speaks and then there's fireworks. But here, the monarch is speaking at 6 p.m. Danes, you are starting to celebrate quite early. Her Majesty is known to fumble slightly with her papers and glasses, which makes it mildly awkward to watch at times. In her personal look back on the year, she addresses issues in the society both locally and globally, and always mentions Denmark's connection to Greenland and Faroe Islands, which are both parts of the kingdom. Well, I mean, whoever wrote this, like this quote that I was reading you, I would not care about the fumbling in the papers. I mean, the Queen is already in her 80s, and if I'm not mistaken, she's been reigning for around 50 or so years, so that shouldn't be a thing. It's kind of cute, if I might say like that. So a little geography for those who are confused about the Faroe Islands and Greenland. So they indeed are part of the Kingdom of Denmark, although they are like under external sovereignty, so they have like self-governing thing happening there, so they are part of Denmark, and all the citizens of Greenland and Faroe Islands are Danish. I feel kind of smart ass telling this, you know? Bookmakers take odds in the run-up to New Year's Eve as to what the Queen will mention in her address. In 2011, the odds were 50 to 1 that she'd mention Justin Bieber? She didn't. Close friends and family gather early in the evening, so watch the broadcast together, but only after it has finished can they open the champagne. Bookmakers? Oh my God. I bet this is quite a recent thing they have with those bookmakers and betting on what the Queen will mention. Justin Bieber, really? Like Danes, if some of the Danish people are watching this video, please do write in the comments, is this really happening? Was there really a bet on Justin Bieber being mentioned in the speech? This is so funny. And I'm just like now trying to imagine what would be the words that people would be betting on this year's speech. I think I would bet on expensive price rise because I think that's the thing that's really bothering everyone in the world right now. As we understood, now they have watched the speech, they are opening the bubbly. What happens next? After that, the kids and big kids' dads, this is a good one, are officially allowed to go outside and launch a few fireworks. But remember to keep the big guns for the 12 o'clock. So I like how it's written, big dads, because I think the guys are the most excited about the fireworks, especially if they can do themselves. And I think it's kind of cute that they're doing it a little bit earlier, because some kids cannot like wait until 12 o'clock, especially if they're little kids. They just fall asleep. So this is kind of nice. And actually, Danes continue to watch their TV even after this little fireworks and starting to eat and drink. They switch their TVs on just to see British-made TV sketch comedy. And it's called Dinner for One, or in Danish, 90-års fødselsdagen, meaning 19th birthday. And this originally was like a theater play that was later on made into like a TV comedy. And as I read, it's quite popular in Europe, in European countries, although I have never heard about that. So I guess I should check it. For me, coming from Eastern European countries, there is one movie that everyone watches. It's called S lehkým párem. It's a Russian, let's say, rom-com drama or something, and it lasts for many hours. Now it has even like sequels, and everyone knows the quotes from that movie. It's really famous. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. The phrase "same procedure as last year" is used both as a question and answer repeatedly throughout the sketch, and it's the most famous line from this iconic comedy. Therefore, it was pure irony when the Danish TV channel DR mistakenly chose not to run the sketch back in the 1985, which resulted in a ton of complaints from disappointed Danes. After all, it has to be the same procedure as last year. I got it. Like, Danes like their traditions to be on point. And I had the same, like, I don't want to mess with my New Year's traditions and Christmas traditions. Like, for example, for New Year's, I just simply have to have this one specific food on my table that I make usually for myself because not everybody likes it. And since I'm in Norway, I'm the only one who's eating. It's called "Seljotka pod šuboj." The literal translation from Russian would be herring under fur coat. Yeah. But it's not so gross as it sounds. And by the way, since you're now grossed out about the "Seljotka pod šuboj," and we have started to talk about food, what do Danes eat on the New Year's? Let's figure out. Boiled cod is a traditional New Year's dinner in Denmark, although many Danes don't follow this tradition anymore. Anything nice seems to be used, but preferably something distinctively different from the rather heavy Christmas food consumed in the week before. Well, cod, this kind of reminds me of lutefisk that we have here in Norway that we eat on Christmas, which is basically dried and salted cod in most cases, and not really a fan of it. I can eat it, but not really a fan of it, since when it's prepared, it really reminds me like something like I'm eating a fish jelly. As humoristic side note, cod is torsk in Danish, which is also used to describe someone who has messed up. And since 1977, the Danish newspaper Extra Bladet has awarded Årets Nyttårstorsk, the New Year cod of the year, to a public figure who messed up big time during the previous year. A less flattering award that not surprisingly, often goes to a politician. Oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. This is a really good idea. Love it. Love it, Danes. This is a cool thing. But when I was like trying to at least to figure out about the Danish foods, I know that they have this kransekage, which in translation would be wreath cake, and it's like a common dessert. Like kransekage is one of the biggest icons of Danish New Year's Eve. The cake is said to have been invented in Denmark, although it's also popular in other Nordic countries and beyond the Nordic region. It's a marzipan-like cake of rings that are stacked to form a small cone-shaped tower. It is topped off with stripes of white frosting and sometimes also small Danish flags for decoration. The truth is that many people don't especially like this very sweet cake, but eat it simply because it's a part of the tradition. Now, if it says that it's also popular in other Nordic countries, I might assume that I can find it here also in Norway, so maybe I should check it out. I don't think that I would be also a huge fan of it since it says that it's a very sweet cake, but I would like to have a nibble and just try. After that, toasts can be to anyone or anything, but glasses must be constantly replenished until midnight, when the television is switched back on for the countdown at Copenhagen's Lighthouse City Hall. Danes like to literally jump into the new year, so when the countdown begins, they find a chair or sofa, perch themselves on it, and on the stroke of midnight, jump off. This is weird. Why jump off a chair or sofa? I mean, yeah, I do understand like the meaning behind a jump into the new year, but why? I mean, by that time you have already consumed enough of booze and, you know, you might break some limbs on that condition, but I guess Danes are very trained into that, like doing this year after year. So I guess they should be all right. After returning safely, hopefully, to the ground, partners kiss and friends and family embrace each other with hugs, toasts, and wishes for a happy new year. I kind of like it, but yeah, I'm just like suspicious because some good liquids in your system might just make it into a big mess. But let's see, maybe I should try to jump too. I mean, it depends what kind of condition I am by that time. I'm not saying that I'm like consuming a lot, but I get tipsy quite quickly. Provided nobody has at this point broken their ankles, what I was saying, the evening is rounded off with guests joining arms to sing Ver velkommen Herrens år, we welcome the Lord's year, and both national anthems, Der et Indikland, there is a lovely land, and Kong Christian Stodved. Oh my God. Anyways, King Christian stood by the lofty mast. That was tough. Danes, I beg your pardon for my pronunciation. I tried, I failed. I do understand it. It wasn't my fault. I'm just bad at pronunciation. But I feel like this is a nice thing. Everyone is singing, if they're really doing that. I mean, this could be just like what they are supposed to do according to the traditions. But if it's really happening in every household, I don't know, like if Danish people are watching, write down in comments if you're really singing all of this stuff. Because I think it's quite nice if they are really singing all of these songs. Of course, I might have skipped some of the things about the Danish New Year's traditions, but in general, this was like very like a summary of all of the main things that I wanted to point out and tell you. And of course, January the 1st is International Hangover Day all around the world. And that being said, I just want to tell you, be careful, don't drink too much, invest more into having a good time rather than just getting drunk. And on this note, as I said at the beginning, this is the last video of this year on my channel. Thank you everyone who watched, who liked, who subscribed. Just wanted to mention that my goal was by the end of the year to reach 1,000 subscribers. I failed. I guess I'm not so interesting as I thought I was. Joking, I don't care. Actually, this is my hobby. I enjoy making these videos. If it reaches somebody and if somebody finds it interesting and entertaining or educating or whatever, I'm just happy about that. And I'm gonna continue until the moment when I don't want to do that. And at this point, I'm quite determined to continue. So hopefully I'm gonna see you next year. Actually, I have already prepared a plan for the first video, so subscribe if you want to see that. And really want to thank all of my subscribers who are commenting regularly, watching. I do really love you all. I do appreciate you all. And as you can see, I always try to reply to each and every comment that you are writing. Happy New Year. I hope the new year brings you a lot of joy, health, success. And let's be honest, also money, because we all need that, especially in these crazy times. Anyways, see you very soon. I love you all. See you next year.